A legitimate business makes money by selling products or services to customers. You might think this would be an easy concept to verify before investing thousands of dollars. Then there were these pyramid schemes, which proved that millions of people will ignore obvious warning signs, mathematics, and common sense when someone promises them easy money and financial freedom. Buckle up for a masterclass on how to recognize a scam before it's too late. 1. Bernie Madoff ran the largest Ponzi scheme in history, defrauding investors of approximately $65 billion over several decades. Madoff promised consistent returns of 10 to 12% annually, regardless of market conditions. He paid early investors with money from new investors rather than actual investment profits. His client list included celebrities, charities, and sophisticated investors who should have known better. The scheme collapsed in 2008 when the financial crisis caused too many withdrawal requests simultaneously. He confessed to his sons, who reported him to authorities. Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison and died there in 2021. Thousands lost life savings because they believed one man could consistently beat the market for decades without explaining how. 2. Herbalife has been accused of operating as a pyramid scheme for decades, with the FTC finding that 99% of distributors made no money or actually lost money after expenses. Most revenue comes from recruiting distributors who buy inventory rather than actual retail sales. The company paid $200 million to settle FTC charges in 2016 and agreed to restructure, but continues operating largely unchanged. Distributors are encouraged to recruit friends and family, buy motivational materials, and maintain monthly purchasing quotas. The company's top earners make millions primarily by recruiting vast downlines of distributors who lose money. Despite clear pyramid characteristics, Herbalife remains legal and continues recruiting new distributors. 3. The airplane game swept through communities in the 1980s and 1990s, convincing thousands to pay $1,500 to join a literal pyramid with levels named passenger, crew, co-pilot, and captain. Participants were told they'd receive $12,000 at the captain level after recruiting enough people below them. Simple mathematics proved it couldn't work. Each captain needed 16 new participants, requiring exponential growth that would exhaust the population within weeks. Police eventually shut down operations, but not before people lost millions. Many participants knew it was illegal, but believed they'd get out before the collapse. Communities were torn apart when the inevitable collapse left most with losses while a few early participants got rich. 4. Amway has operated since 1959 and remains controversial. Studies show average Amway distributors lose money, with company income disclosure showing most earn less than $200 annually before expenses. Revenue comes largely from distributors buying products for personal use rather than retail sales to non-distributor customers. Distributors are encouraged to buy motivational materials and seminar tickets from upline, creating a profitable tools business, often generating more than product sales. Former distributors report spending thousands on unsold inventory and feeling pressured to recruit friends and family. Amway has prevailed in legal challenges by arguing it has retail customers and doesn't solely reward recruitment. 5. Zeek Rewards promise participants up to 1.5% daily returns by investing in a penny auction site called Zeekler. At its peak, Zeek Rewards had over 1 million participants who invested approximately $850 million. The SEC shut it down in 2012, calling it a Ponzi scheme where newer investments paid older participants. Zeekler generated minimal actual revenue. Founder Paul Burks was sentenced to 14 years in prison. Participants lost hundreds of millions, many having invested retirement savings based on promises of consistent daily returns that should have been an obvious red flag. The scheme recruited aggressively through online forums and social media. 6. LuLaRoe convinced tens of thousands of women to invest $5,000, $9,000 in starter inventory with promises of working from home. The company exploded in popularity around 2016 with distinctive patterns and cultish culture. Consultants received random inventory they couldn't choose, often receiving unsellable patterns and sizes. The company's income disclosure revealed 99.6% of consultants earned less than $5,000 annually, with most losing money after expenses. LuLaRoe faced multiple lawsuits, settled with Washington State for $4.75 million, and agreed to restructure. Thousands were left with garages full of unsellable inventory and debt. Many lost friendships from aggressive social media sales tactics. 7. The blessing loom resurged in 2020 during the pandemic, convincing people to send $100 via Cash App with promises of receiving $800 after recruiting others. Participants were told it was a gifting circle rather than a pyramid scheme. It spread rapidly on social media, particularly in communities hit hard by COVID lockdowns. Law enforcement issued warnings and made arrests. The mathematics were identical to every pyramid scheme. Only those at the top could profit. Many defended the scheme even after losing money, failing to understand that if more people had joined is the impossible requirement that makes all pyramids collapse. 8. Vemma recruited heavily on college campuses, targeting students with promises of making stupid money by selling energy drinks and recruiting others. Students were encouraged to lease luxury cars and post aspirational social media content. The FTC shut down Vemma in 2015, finding most participants lost money, and revenue came primarily from recruits buying inventory. Students had been encouraged to take out loans and max credit cards. Many dropped out of college to focus on Vemma. The company settled and restructured, but thousands of students were left with debt, worthless inventory, and damaged relationships. 9. Wake Up Now charged $99.95 monthly membership with promises of saving money on purchases while earning income by recruiting others. Most savings were available elsewhere for free, and main revenue came from recruiting new members. The company collapsed in 2015, leaving hundreds of thousands of members who had been recruited through aggressive social media campaigns. Many had been encouraged to quit jobs and focus full-time, convinced they were building a business. Criminal charges were filed against leadership. The scheme dressed up recruitment as a money-saving service, making people feel smart for joining. 10. Telex Free claimed to be a telecommunications company, but actually defrauded participants of approximately $3 billion, primarily in Brazil and the United States. Participants paid to place online advertisements for telephone service and were promised weekly returns of $100, with additional income from recruiting. Actual telecommunications services generated minimal revenue. Telex Free collapsed in 2014 when authorities raided headquarters. Founders were convicted and sentenced to prison. Over 1 million people worldwide lost money, many having invested life savings. The scheme particularly devastated Brazilian immigrant communities. 11. Burn Lounge sold positions in an online music store pyramid where participants paid $29.95 to $429.95 to become moguls, earning commissions by recruiting other moguls. The FTC shut it down in 2007 and courts ruled in 2014 it operated as a pyramid scheme with rewards based on recruitment. Participants lost approximately $60 million. Many were aspiring musicians who believed they were building a music business. The case established important legal precedent about pyramid schemes and showed how pyramid operators adapt to new technologies. 12. Fortune High-Tech Marketing recruited thousands to sell various services, but income came primarily from recruiting others. The FTC in several states shut it down in 2013. FHTM charged $290 NOK to join plus $89.95 monthly. Company data showed 89% of representatives made no money. Many were encouraged to quit stable jobs, convinced by testimonials showing top earners' lifestyles. Thousands lost money and experienced relationship damage from aggressive recruiting. The case demonstrated how pyramid schemes can operate for years before authorities act. 13. Organo Gold recruited through social media, promising people could get rich selling coffee infused with Ganoderma and recruiting others. The company charged $199.50 to join and required ongoing purchases. Income disclosure showed the vast majority earned less than $200 annually before expenses. Many bought hundreds of boxes they couldn't sell. The company faced criticism for unsupported health claims. Organo Gold remains operational but has faced multiple lawsuits alleging pyramid scheme characteristics. The scheme showed how wrapping a pyramid in a superfood product could convince people they were in legitimate business. 14. Digital Altitude sold online business education through an 8-level program costing up to $70,000, with commissions earned primarily by recruiting others. The FTC shut it down in 2018 for operating as a pyramid scheme. The FTC found 94% of members earned nothing. Participants were encouraged to max credit cards to buy higher levels. Many went into debt buying courses supposedly teaching online business, not realizing the only model taught was recruiting others. The case highlighted how pyramid schemes disguise themselves as educational opportunities. 15. Juice Plus Plus sells supplements through MLM distribution. The company requires distributors to maintain personal purchases to remain qualified, meaning many are primary customers. Income disclosure shows median annual income is less than $300, with the vast majority earning nothing after expenses. Distributors are encouraged to recruit and sell packages, combining products with business opportunities. The company has faced criticism for unsubstantiated health claims. Many invest thousands while earning minimal income. The company remains operational by maintaining it sells legitimate products. 16. USANA Health Sciences faced FTC investigation and allegations it operated as a pyramid scheme. The company settled without admitting wrongdoing. Income disclosure shows approximately 84% of distributors earned an average of $284 annually before expenses. Distributors are required to make personal purchases to remain qualified. The company has aggressively defended against pyramid accusations and remains operational. Former distributors report spending thousands on inventory and seminars while earning minimal returns. The controversy highlights how companies operate in gray areas for years. 17. The Secret Sister gift exchange goes viral periodically on social media, promising participants will receive 36 gifts if they send one gift and recruit 6 people. Posts claim it's not a pyramid scheme, which signals it exactly is. Simple mathematics proves impossible. Each person needs 6 recruits who need 6 recruits, requiring exponential growth exceeding the population. The scheme is illegal regardless of whether money or gifts are exchanged. Law enforcement regularly issues warnings. Many participants don't recognize the impossibility and think they're participating in holiday generosity. 18. ACN claims to be a legitimate telecommunications MLM, but faces persistent pyramid accusations. The company requires $490 million to join plus ongoing fees. Income disclosure shows approximately 87% of representatives earned an average of $319 annually before expenses. Many spend thousands attending events and buying materials while earning almost nothing. The company was promoted by Donald Trump, who appeared at ACN events, lending credibility that encouraged more people to join. Former representatives report intense pressure to recruit and maintain expenses, regardless of business success. 19. Primerica sells financial products through MLM distribution. The company requires representatives to be licensed, which costs money. Income disclosure shows approximately 90% earned an average of $5,870 annually, far less than full-time income and likely less than expenses. Representatives are encouraged to recruit and attend expensive events. Many are recruited with promises of financial independence while financially vulnerable. Former representatives report spending thousands on licensing and training while earning minimal income. The company insists it's legitimate while critics note pyramid characteristics. 20. The Gifting Circle scheme operates under various names, including the Gifting Tree and Circle of Gold, convincing participants to gift thousands of dollars to the person at center while recruiting others. Promoters insist it's not a pyramid because money is gifted rather than invested. This distinction is legally meaningless. Gifting circles often target churches and tight-knit communities where social pressure makes people reluctant to call it a scam. Law enforcement regularly shuts them down, though they resurface with new names. Most participants lose their gift when recruitment can't continue indefinitely. 21. Advocare operated for decades before the FTC shut down its pyramid scheme compensation structure in 2019. The FTC found Advocare rewarded recruitment over retail sales. The company paid $150 million and eliminated its MLM structure. Before shutdown, 72% of distributors earned nothing. and 95% who earned anything averaged just $1,020 annually before expenses. Many had spent thousands on inventory and events. High-profile athletes, including Drew Brees, endorsed the company, lending credibility. Former distributors report significant losses and damaged relationships from recruiting tactics. 22. OneCoin claimed to be a cryptocurrency investment, but was actually a pyramid scheme with no real blockchain, defrauding investors of approximately $4 billion worldwide. Founder Ruja Ignatova, the crypto queen, disappeared in 2017 and remains on the FBI's most wanted list. Participants bought educational packages costing $100 to $118,000, supposedly including OneCoin tokens. The company held lavish events presenting OneCoin as the Bitcoin killer. In reality, OneCoin existed only in a private database, had no blockchain, and couldn't be spent anywhere. Multiple arrests have been made. Victims lost billions. 23. Nu Skin has faced multiple legal challenges, paying millions in settlements while continuing operations. It's been particularly controversial in Asian markets. Income disclosure shows approximately 82% earn an average of $469 annually before expenses. Distributors maintain monthly purchases to remain qualified. The company paid tens of millions in fines for operating pyramid schemes in China and South Korea. Former distributors report spending thousands on inventory and conventions while earning minimal income. The company insists it's legitimate direct sales. 24. Burn Cycle, operated by influencer Shannon Sohir, promised participants would receive $800 after paying $100 and recruiting others. Sohir promoted it aggressively on social media, insisting it was legal person-to-person gifting. She was arrested in Massachusetts, facing federal charges for running an illegal pyramid that collected over $1 million. Sohir had run a women's community called the Brat Fund, giving her credibility she exploited. Many participants were women struggling during the pandemic who trusted her. The case showed how influencers can recruit thousands by exploiting follower trust. 25. YTB International recruited participants to sell travel booking services and recruit others. The company settled lawsuits and paid millions but continued operating. Income disclosure showed most representatives earned nothing after fees and expenses. Most joining YTB never successfully sold travel services. The company eventually collapsed after legal troubles. Former representatives report spending thousands on fees and training while earning minimal income. The scheme tapped into people's desire to earn money in the travel industry, making the opportunity seem glamorous when reality was almost everyone lost. 26. Kiani sells health supplements through MLM distribution, with compensation heavily dependent on recruitment, leading to allegations of pyramid scheme characteristics. The company's income disclosure shows that approximately 72% of distributors earned nothing at all, and the median annual income for those who did earn something was $385 before business expenses. Distributors are required to maintain monthly purchases to stay qualified for commissions, making them primary customers. Many distributors invest thousands in inventory and business expenses while earning minimal returns. The company has faced regulatory issues in multiple countries. Former distributors report pressure to attend expensive conventions, buy motivational materials from upline distributors, and recruit family and friends. The company insists it operates legally as direct sales, though critics note that the math shows typical pyramid characteristics, where the vast majority lose money while a small top group profits from recruitment networks. The scheme shows how health and wellness products provide cover for recruitment-based pyramid structures. 27. Fortune. High-tech marketing's collapse left thousands of representatives with worthless businesses and outstanding debts, having been encouraged to take out loans and max credit cards to pay fees and maintain qualification in the pyramid structure. The company required $299 to join plus $89.95 monthly fees, and representatives were taught to recruit aggressively among family and friends. Many held opportunity meetings in their homes, pressuring loved ones to join. When the FTC shut down FHTM in 2013, the company had operated for over a decade, showing how long pyramid schemes can run before enforcement action. Court cases revealed that the company's leaders knew it was a pyramid scheme, but continued operations anyway, enriching themselves while representatives lost money. Some representatives had quit stable jobs based on promises of FHTM income that never materialized. The company's collapse left former representatives not only with financial losses, but also damaged relationships from having recruited friends and family into a scheme that took their money. 28. Xingular sells weight loss supplements and essential oils through MLM distribution with typical pyramid scheme economics. Income disclosure shows that approximately 90% of distributors earned an average of $1,019 annually in 2018 before business expenses. Distributors are required to maintain monthly purchases and encouraged to recruit others to build teams. Many distributors invest thousands in inventory, required monthly purchases, website fees, and company events while earning almost nothing. The company remains operational by insisting it sells legitimate products, though critics note that the compensation structure rewards recruitment over retail sales. Former distributors report pressure tactics, including being told that failing to succeed means they didn't try hard enough rather than acknowledging the mathematical impossibility of most participants earning significant income in a pyramid structure. The company targets people looking for weight loss solutions and work-from-home opportunities, exploiting both their health concerns and financial needs. 29. The Mandala Games swept through Latin American communities, promising participants would receive $144,000 after paying $2,400 and recruiting others into a mandala-shaped diagram with fire, earth, air, and water levels. Promoters used spiritual language and symbols to obscure the pyramid scheme structure, calling it a women's empowerment circle, and claiming it represented sisterhood and mutual support. The scheme spread rapidly through WhatsApp groups and community meetings, particularly among immigrant communities. Law enforcement agencies issued warnings and made arrests as the scheme spread across the United States. Simple mathematics proved impossible. Each person receiving $144,000 required 104 new participants, paying $1,400 each. Most participants lost their initial payment when the inevitable collapse occurred. The scheme was particularly harmful because it exploited cultural trust and spiritual symbolism to prevent critical analysis. Many participants defended the scheme even after losing money, having been convinced that it represented something meaningful beyond a simple pyramid scheme. 30. Manavi sold acai berry juice through MLM distribution, making unsubstantiated health claims while operating with pyramid scheme characteristics where most distributors lost money. The company charged $39 plus $69.95 to join and required ongoing monthly purchases. Income disclosure showed that approximately 91% of distributors earned an average of $1,020 annually in 2010 before expenses, and expenses typically exceeded earnings. Distributors bought cases of expensive juice and tried to sell it while recruiting others. Many spent thousands on inventory, required purchases, and company events. The company eventually collapsed and filed for bankruptcy in 2015, with assets purchased by another MLM company. Former distributors report having garages full of expensive juice they couldn't sell, and damaged relationships from aggressive recruiting. The scheme showed how superfood marketing and health claims could disguise a pyramid structure where most participants lost money, while a few top recruiters became wealthy. 31. Empower Network sold blogging platforms and online marketing training through a pyramid structure where most income came from recruiting others rather than legitimate product sales. The company required $25 monthly plus encouraged participants to buy additional products costing up to $5,500, with commissions earned by recruiting others to buy the same products. The FTC shut down Empower Network in 2018 after finding it operated as a pyramid scheme. Income disclosure showed that approximately 91% of affiliates earned nothing whatsoever. The company had operated for several years, enriching founders and top recruiters while most participants lost money. Many affiliates maxed out credit cards, buying products, and attending events based on promises that they were building online businesses. The scheme was particularly effective because it promised to teach people how to make money online, when the only business model actually taught was recruiting others into Empower Network. The case demonstrated how pyramid schemes disguise themselves as technology and online marketing opportunities. 32. Unique sells cosmetics through MLM distribution with typical pyramid economics, showing most presenters lose money while a small top group profits from recruitment networks. The company's income disclosure shows that approximately 86% of presenters earned an average of $339 annually in 2018 before business expenses. Presenters are encouraged to hold Facebook parties, post extensively on social media, and recruit other presenters to build teams. Many presenters buy starter kits and monthly products while earning minimal income. The company insists it's legitimate direct sales, but former presenters report that actual retail sales to non-presenters were minimal, and that pressure to recruit was constant. Social media became flooded with unique presenters aggressively marketing to friends and family, leading to MLM fatigue, where people avoided Facebook friends who joined. The company shows how social media platforms enabled pyramid schemes to recruit more aggressively than ever before, while making income claims that didn't match reality for the vast majority of participants. 33. Lioness operated as a shopping rewards program, where members paid thousands of euros for units that supposedly generated returns from shopping activity. But it actually operated as a pyramid scheme where returns came from recruiting new members. The scheme was particularly successful in Europe before being shut down by authorities in multiple countries. Members could pay up to $90,000 for units in the highest level, with promises of generating substantial passive income. In reality, the shopping network generated minimal revenue and returns came from new recruits buying units. Austrian authorities determined Lioness operated illegally as a pyramid scheme. The company rebranded and restructured multiple times to avoid legal issues while continuing to recruit new members. Thousands of members lost money, many having invested substantial sums based on promises of revolutionary shopping rewards technology. The case showed how pyramid schemes disguise themselves as technology platforms and shopping networks to appear legitimate while actually operating traditional recruitment-based pyramid structures. 34. LifeVantage sells supplements including Pro Tandem through MLM distribution with typical pyramid characteristics. Income disclosure shows that approximately 84% of distributors earned an average of 1,070 NIST annually in 2019 before expenses. Distributors are required to maintain monthly purchases and encouraged to recruit others. The company makes questionable health claims about its products, while most distributors lose money. Many distributors invest thousands in inventory, required purchases, and company events while earning minimal income. Former distributors report pressure to recruit family and friends and attend expensive conventions. The company remains operational by insisting it's legitimate direct sales, though the math shows typical pyramid economics where meaningful income requires large recruitment networks. The scheme targets people concerned about health and aging, exploiting those concerns to sell both products and business opportunities that rarely generate profit for participants. The company's continued operation shows how MLMs defend themselves by claiming they sell legitimate products even when the underlying economics show most participants losing money. 35. The Loom Circle or Fractal Mandala scheme circulated in 2020, promising participants would receive $3,000, $5,000 after paying $500 and recruiting others into an octagon-shaped diagram. Promoters insisted it was women supporting women, or a blessing, rather than a pyramid scheme, using language designed to prevent critical analysis. The scheme spread through social media, text messages, and Zoom meetings during pandemic lockdowns, when many people faced financial hardship. Law enforcement agencies across multiple states issued warnings and made arrests. The mathematics were identical to every pyramid scheme. Only early participants could profit, while the vast majority would lose money. Many participants were vulnerable women facing economic uncertainty who trusted friends who recruited them. The scheme damaged relationships and left most participants with losses. The case demonstrated how pyramid schemes adapt their marketing to current events and vulnerable populations, using empowerment language and community support framing to disguise mathematical impossibility. 36. Neora, formerly Nerium, sells anti-aging skincare products through MLM distribution, with typical pyramid characteristics where most brand partners lose money. The company changed its name from Nerium to Neora after facing multiple lawsuits alleging pyramid scheme operations. Income disclosure shows that approximately 91% of brand partners earned an average of $659 annually in 2019 before business expenses. Brand partners are required to maintain monthly purchases and encouraged to recruit others to build teams. The company has faced regulatory issues and lawsuits in multiple countries. Former brand partners report spending thousands on inventory, required purchases, and training materials while earning minimal income. Many were recruited through social media with income claims that vastly overstated realistic earnings. The company insists it operates legally, though the economics show typical pyramid characteristics where the vast majority lose money, while a small top group profits from recruitment networks. The name change and continued operation show how MLM companies rebrand to escape reputation problems while maintaining the same problematic business model. 37. Trump Network, endorsed by Donald Trump, sold vitamins and supplements through MLM distribution before collapsing in 2012 after failing to recruit enough participants to sustain the pyramid structure. Trump licensed his name to the company and appeared in promotional materials, lending celebrity credibility that convinced many people to join. The company required joining fees and monthly purchases with typical MLM economics, showing most participants losing money. Income disclosure wasn't publicly available, but former participants report significant financial losses. The company used Trump's business reputation to suggest the opportunity was legitimate when the underlying structure showed typical pyramid characteristics. When the company collapsed, participants were left with worthless businesses and outstanding inventory. The case demonstrated how celebrity endorsements lend credibility to pyramid schemes, exploiting the trust people place in successful public figures. Trump's subsequent political career never adequately addressed the thousands who lost money in a business bearing his name. 38. Income Store claimed to sell fully developed online businesses to customers while providing ongoing management, but actually operated as a pyramid scheme where most customers lost their entire investment. Customers paid $45,000 to $250,000 for supposedly profitable websites that would generate passive income. The FTC shut down Income Store in 2022, finding that websites generated little to no profit and that income claims were fraudulent. The scheme primarily targeted retirees and people with savings who wanted passive income. Many customers liquidated retirement accounts or took out loans based on promises of consistent returns. In reality, the websites rarely generated enough income to cover the management fees charged monthly. Hundreds of customers lost millions collectively. Founders were charged with fraud. The scheme was particularly cruel because it targeted people preparing for or in retirement who lost substantial sums they couldn't recover through work. The case showed how pyramid schemes disguise themselves as technology businesses while actually operating traditional recruitment-based fraud. 39. IM Mastery Academy sells online trading education through a pyramid structure where most students lose money, both on educational packages and attempting to trade using the taught strategies. The company charges monthly fees plus sells additional courses costing thousands, with commissions earned primarily by recruiting other students. Critics, including financial regulators, have warned that the company shows pyramid scheme characteristics with rewards based on recruitment rather than legitimate educational value. Former students report that the trading education provided was basic information available for free online, and that the promoted trading strategies lost money. Income disclosure isn't publicly available, but reviews from former students consistently report financial losses. The company continues operating by insisting it sells legitimate education, though the compensation structure and student outcomes show typical pyramid characteristics. The scheme targets young people interested in trading and financial independence, exploiting their aspirations while providing education of minimal value and promoting recruitment over actual trading education. 40. BitConnect promised daily returns of approximately 1% by investing in its cryptocurrency lending platform, paying early investors with new investor money in a classic Ponzi scheme combined with pyramid recruitment bonuses. At its peak in late 2017, BitConnect had a market capitalization exceeding $2.6 billion. The platform collapsed in January 2018 when it could no longer pay promised returns and shut down, leaving investors with worthless tokens. Promoters had recruited aggressively at cryptocurrency conferences and online, promising life-changing wealth from BitConnect's proprietary volatility trading bot that supposedly generated consistent profits. In reality, no such bot existed, and returns came entirely from new investor money. Several promoters have been charged with fraud, though founder Satish Kumbani remains at large. Investors lost billions collectively, with some people investing their life savings based on testimonials from early investors who had been paid with later investors' money. The collapse was one of cryptocurrency's most notorious scams. 41. Advocare's pyramid scheme compensation structure enriched a small group of top distributors, while approximately 72% of all distributors earned nothing at all before the FTC shut down its MLM operations. High-profile athletes had been paid to endorse the company, giving credibility that convinced many people to join. The company held massive conventions where top earners showed lavish lifestyles and encouraged recruits to dream big, while the reality was that most participants lost money on inventory purchases and business expenses. Many distributors were recruited through social media with posts showing luxury cars, exotic trips, and financial freedom. The FTC settlement required the company to stop operating as an MLM and pay $150 million. Former distributors who had invested thousands in inventory and business expenses received minimal compensation from the settlement. The case demonstrated that high-profile endorsements and massive public events don't change the mathematical reality that pyramid schemes enrich early participants and top recruiters, while most participants lose money. 42. Beachbody, which sells fitness programs and Shakeology supplements through MLM distribution, shows typical pyramid economics in its income disclosure. Approximately 79% of coaches earned an average of $590 annually in 2019 before business expenses like required monthly Shakeology purchases. Coaches are encouraged to use products themselves while recruiting other coaches to build teams. Many coaches spend more on monthly Shakeology purchases and business expenses than they earn in commissions. The company insists it operates legitimately as direct sales, though critics note that the emphasis on recruiting coaches and the economics showing most coaches losing money indicate pyramid characteristics. Former coaches report that actual retail sales to non-coaches were minimal, and that pressure to recruit was constant. Social media platforms became saturated with Beachbody coaches posting workout content while aggressively marketing to friends and family. The company remains operational and successful while the majority of its coaches lose money, a typical pyramid scheme outcome regardless of whether products are involved. 43. The Elite Activity Scheme operated through Instagram in 2020, promising participants would receive $800 after paying $100 through Cash App and recruiting others into what was literally described as a pyramid structure with levels. Promoters claimed it was legal because it was person to person rather than a business, which is legally meaningless. The scheme spread rapidly on Instagram and Facebook, particularly among young people during pandemic economic hardship. Law enforcement agencies issued warnings that participation was illegal regardless of terminology used. The mathematics proved impossible. Each person receiving $800 required 8 people losing $100 each in the levels below them. Most participants lost their initial payment when recruitment inevitably slowed. The scheme was promoted by Instagram influencers and users who posted about receiving payments, not understanding or not caring that their payment came from newer recruits who would lose money. The case showed how social media platforms enable pyramid schemes to spread rapidly by making income claims visible while obscuring the mathematical impossibility. 44. USANA's income disclosure shows that approximately 84% of associates earned an average of $284 annually in 2018 before business expenses. Yet the company continues recruiting new associates with promises of income potential that doesn't match reality for the vast majority. Associates are required to make personal purchases to remain qualified for commissions, and many spend thousands on inventory, training materials, and company conventions while earning minimal income. The company has aggressively defended itself against pyramid scheme accusations from short sellers and critics. maintaining that it sells legitimate products and doesn't solely reward recruitment. However, the math shows typical pyramid economics where meaningful income requires large recruitment networks, and most participants lose money. Former associates report pressure to recruit family and friends, and to maintain monthly purchases regardless of actual retail sales potential. The company remains operational and successful while most associates lose money, showing how MLMs can operate in legal gray areas for years, despite clear evidence of pyramid characteristics. 45. And finally, the pattern that connects virtually every single pyramid scheme, MLM scam, and Ponzi scheme in this video. People ignore obvious warning signs because they want to believe they've found an easy path to wealth, and they convince themselves that they'll be one of the lucky ones who profits before the inevitable collapse. The warning signs are always the same: promises of easy money with minimal work, emphasis on recruiting friends and family, requirements to pay money up front or maintain ongoing purchases to qualify for income. Presentations showing top earners' lavish lifestyles without addressing what the average participant earns. Resistance to providing clear income disclosures showing how many people lose money. Use of confusing terminology and jargon to obscure simple mathematics. Claims that the opportunity is revolutionizing an industry. Pressure to decide quickly before missing out. Testimonials from early participants who were paid with money from later recruits. And explanations that failures happen because people didn't work hard enough rather than acknowledging mathematical impossibility. The mathematics of pyramid schemes never change. Exponential growth requirements mean they must eventually collapse when recruitment slows, and the vast majority of participants must lose money for a small group at the top to profit. Yet millions of people continue joining because they believe this time will be different. They'll be smarter than others. They'll get in early enough to profit, or they genuinely don't understand the mathematics showing why the scheme can't work for most participants. Here's the brutal truth about pyramid schemes. They're mathematically designed to ensure that most participants lose money, and no amount of hard work, positive thinking, or recruitment skills can change that fundamental reality. These schemes succeed not despite being obvious frauds, but because they exploit human psychology. The desire for easy money, the fear of missing opportunities, the trust placed in friends and family who recruit us, and the reluctance to admit we've been fooled even when evidence is clear. The real pyramid was the relationships we destroyed along the way. Every person recruited into a pyramid scheme represents someone who trusted the recruiter enough to invest money, only to discover that trust was misplaced when they lost money and damaged relationships by recruiting others who also lost money. History's lesson is clear. If a business opportunity requires you to recruit others to make meaningful income, if most participants lose money while a small top group gets wealthy, if you're encouraged to buy inventory or pay ongoing fees to stay qualified, if income claims don't match publicly available income disclosures, or if the mathematics require exponential growth that's mathematically unsustainable, it's a pyramid scheme regardless of what terminology is used, what products are sold, or what promises are made about revolutionary opportunities. Subscribe if you want to avoid losing your money and friendships to pyramid schemes. And remember that legitimate businesses make money by selling products or services to customers, not by recruiting participants who recruit more participants who all pay money to participate in recruiting more participants forever in mathematically impossible exponential growth.